Hey everybody, welcome to the Hobbystreaker Season 2, Episode 15. Um, as always, I'm JG, my co-host is Liam.
Hello.
So
I need
we
to
are
get up and
using
scroll up. Yeah,
a
there we go.
new recording system device slash podcast thingy. So we'll see how it goes. And new mic. Hey, new mic for me at least.
Yeah.
And I've recording on OBS with some plugins and stuff. So hopefully my audio, whether it's on the new thing that we're using for recording or on OBS, it's gonna be nice and crisp and clean. All right. So
Cool.
today Liam is on 1924
Yeah.
and myself on 755. What are we talking about? Well, as always, we're talking about the Hobbystreakers, which is doing 30 minutes of hobby every night for the longest streak possible. So, speaking of streak, what have you done? Well, no, what are you painting today?
So today I'm
Big hammer.
painting some annihilators with grand hammers.
Cool.
So I'm currently painting some Storm Drake Guard, but they're at the point where I need to do detail stuff, and I can't do detail stuff while I'm holding a conversation with people. We've tried that before, it didn't work. So
Sure.
we're going to get these started. Yeah,
All right.
going to get these started.
Cool.
Apparently, I can't hold conversation and do basing either, so that'll be fun.
And I am painting still some Infinity. I wasn't sure exactly what I was gonna do today.
There was a question mark.
Yeah. And then I found this guy who looks like a bird Gundam mix.
Okay.
Because he's got the wing is in the back like a Gundam.
Oh yeah.
So like him, and I'm like, yeah. And I was thinking while waiting for you to join, I was like, how am I gonna do this? Well, and I think I am gonna coat him completely in silver, true metallic, which is the silver model metallic air by Vallejo, which is the best metallic ever. And once that's done, I will contrast paint on top of it.
Oh. Sounds like a good plan.
Because it's supposed to be yellow and green, and I figured that those are pretty nice contrast paint colors.
Yeah.
My yellow is gonna be the Yanden yellow.
Yanden yellow.
Yep. And the green is probably gonna be either the warp. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna use
Warp
the
lightning's
warp.
a good solid green.
Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna do. So right now I'm base coating in silver, which is gonna take forever.
Yep. That's gonna be a good couple of coats.
Yeah. So I see that you have some shoutouts.
Yeah.
So
let me finish that hand. Cool. Right. Let's tab back to that. Hang on, let's move that over here so then it's tabs are next to each other. So we've got Zach Dark Arts on 730 days, which is 2 years. Big shout out to Zach Dark Arts. We've got That Bitch Barred Brushes on 400 days. We've got JDV Paints on 800 days. Four Eyes Mini Guy on 400. And I had some on Twitter, but I took a screenshot of those and didn't put them on the show notes because I was making dinner. So I will pull those up now and have a look at those. Berrit at BERIT_1. 300 days.
Nice.
Ben
Close to a year, man. You're getting there.
at Spy versus 13,
Okay.
800 days.
Cool.
Eric at Cat Radish Minis, 200 days. Yeah, that's that.
Cool. Well,
That's the
congrats,
Twitter. That's
everybody.
what I saw on Twitter. I will
Keep going.
attempt to remember to put those in the show notes so that we can properly shout people out on the video when that goes up.
Well, congrats to everybody. And again, keep going. Hope you enjoy. And yeah, so what have you done while you're reading before you start again? What have you done in the past 2 weeks?
2 weeks. So I finished the Ghoul King with Crown of Delusion. I started the last episode.
Okay.
He didn't take very much longer after that, which was nice.
I saw him. Yeah, it was nice.
I tidied up the castigators that I had on my desk because I was switching their unit colours so that they had actual proper unit sizes due to Mortal Realms magazine based shenanigery. While I was doing those, I was also building some evocators on Dracolines, so I finished building that box. So
yeah, I saw those painted nails. Oh, yeah.
When it starts getting a little bit nicer out, or if it keeps being a little bit nicer out, then I'll get all of that stuff primed during this week, but not yet. Got to be patient. I painted 1.5 Stormdrake Guard. So that's the Dragon Riders from the last Stormcast release. And hang on, let me show you the finished one that I've got here.
Nice.
Dragon.
Cool. That's a big model. It's bigger than
I
thought it was from the picture.
Yeah, they're on the bases they're on aren't like massive, but they're fairly large.
with the wingspan and everything. I guess. Ooh.
No, the wingspan is interesting because Age of Sigmar has unit coherency rules. So each model needs to be within an inch. Well, for these two, they have to be within an inch of each other. But
with the wings, they cannot.
There's no way you can physically do that. So they've got a rule on their wall scroll.
It's the
that
base,
says,
right? So you're talking an inch is the base, it's not the model, because then
from base to base.
From base to base, okay, yeah, because if it was the model itself, then it would be fine, because then the wingspan doesn't really matter.
So they've got a rule on their war scroll that says that they're trained in flying in a dispersed formation, and that they can be 3 inches away from another model in their unit. Cool. Dispersed formation. It's just because you got carried away sculpting big scary dragons.
That's what I was gonna say, because the sculptor didn't care, wanted to make the dragon look cool.
Yeah.
Which again works.
The sculptors don't play the game.
Yeah.
They just get a brief.
But they're like, you're just.
They get a brief to go, right, we need you to make some dragon cavalry. Do that.
Yeah.
So after I say after, but during, I went to an event last Sunday.
Cool.
Did the Attrition Games War for Xantaurus Part 2. So I went down with my brother, Toby, cursor of podcasts. While we were on the car ride on the way down, he was like, "Oh, but by the way, did you see that you messed up so badly at the last event that they wrote your failure into the event pack?"
Nice.
And I went, "No." So then he's got his phone out and he's pulled the event pack up, and there's a bit in there that so they've basically divided their tables into 3 columns, and each column they've got representing a different planet in the system that we're all fighting over.
Oh yeah.
So in the bit for like the second planet in the system, they're like the loyalists held this zone thoroughly, with the Ultramarines even destroying an entire Iron Warrior's air wing. And I was like, yep, that's me. Yes, I got tabled in the first turn of the second game. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, that's nice.
So, but I got down there, got to see Grant and Curtis, the TDP boys. Shout out to friends of the show, the Throwing Dice podcast, our friends and yours.
What? Cool.
Yeah, got to hang out with them for a bit. Didn't get to play either of them. I thought
that's what you were saying. You thought you were gonna be playing at least one of them.
Well, there was an opportunity that I could have grudged Curtis and played against Curtis again, as Grant was on my side, as it were. So I could have grudged Curtis, but I was like, let's make new friends. And I played a guy that I've played at a previous event, and 2 new guys. So yeah, it was good fun.
Cool.
I got my arse handed to me, but I enjoyed myself. So
yeah, that's important.
And I didn't get tabled, so
at least progress.
Fuck you, Reese. Write me into the event pack this time. Double dog dare you. And yeah, last Thursday, I did a guest spot on Throwing Dice. So that is not actually, at the time of recording, out yet, because the lads went up to Wales for the Return to Istvan charity event. So they spent a weekend playing Horus Heresy narrative missions from the campaign books for charity, and then going to their hotel or Airbnb or whatever they were staying in afterwards, and playing Marvel Crisis Protocol until the small hours of the morning.
Nice.
So that has been my last 2 weeks.
All right. Well, I've been... Well, so I got this mic, which I've spent about an hour one day just setting up, going through, like I said, some settings on OBS. So basically I'm recording on OBS, but no video, just the audio, which we'll see how it turns out, but yeah. Then I did a bunch of my Space Station Zero crew. Well, finished a few of them, painted a couple new ones and everything. And what else did I do? So yeah, looked at what we're using now, Zencaster, to see if that would work. And then one of the big thing I did, so I had a freaking pounding migraine one day, and I just couldn't be bothered to do anything. Took some meds, and then ended up going from a really bad migraine to just a big headache. So just still couldn't concentrate on, tiny little thing and painting. So what I did was I started cleaning my hobby space, and I ended up making a lot of cleaning. and
No, it looks really tidy.
got a new shelf behind there. So yeah, and really cleaned everything. Moved the paints that I was saying that were behind my computer screen because I changed computer to this wall. So now they're on the side, and it's awesome. So I had to clean this entire space also because I didn't have access. Move the things down and all that stuff. And then I started working on, and I'm hoping it's a little bit dry. I'm working on this little thing,
Let's switch back to Zencaster so I can see.
which is a, see, it's like a cup that looks like it's spilled coffee.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then it holds from the base actually. So yeah, so I need to glue this on top, and then it holds from, like, it looks like it's suspended in midair.
I did see that
That's pretty cool.
this morning, and I went, what is that?
Yeah.
So now that you've shown me, I can understand.
And then it's gonna
about.
go up there. I want it up there.
Okay.
That's why. So yeah, it's like, there we go. So it's gonna be on my shelf up there. I just wanted to do something a bit fun, a bit different.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. That's about it. I mean, I've been looking at some stuff online too. Some busts and stuff of like Spider-Man and things like this.
Right.
So I might just, I don't know. I just need to see if I want to, how I want to print them and all this. So yeah. And ran polls.
we ran a streaker poll.
Well, and a poll for myself as well. So, because also for my game, because I'm still working on. Basically, right now I'm at the stage where I need to find scenarios and things like this. So this is why I ran one of the poll to be like, what do you prefer? And so, well, we might talk about this like in a next episode or something. But this time around, we just did a streaker poll. Do you want to do that first then? About
sure.
having too many hobbies. And basically, I mean, it always, when I do those polls, is because I'm doing something and then I'm like, I'm wondering other people.
Yeah.
And it's because I'm watching and listening to a bunch of podcasts and, YouTube videos and stuff like that. And so one of the podcasts that, I follow podcasts on video games, PlayStation, mostly because I'm still considering buying myself a PlayStation. So that's kind of where I'm at. And then the Formula 1 season is starting soon, so I'm following that as well. And it's just like been, okay, it's just starting to be like, I don't have enough time to even like follow, to listen to it's like I'm listening and I'm like, God, I'm not gonna listen to that podcast because I don't have time, and I'm not gonna, it's like a bunch of videos, but I need to choose what I want to watch.
Yeah.
And I realized that I've been going on, Uncle Adam's stream on Twitch a lot less than before. Same for his Sunday video. I actually followed this Sunday, but it's been like, I just don't have time. And I was like, man, it's like, can you actually, is it feasible to have more than one hobby and fully being invested in it? And so that's why I ran that little poll. And so the question was, how many hobbies do you have? And so the possible answer was just one, multiple related, which was for me tabletop, board games, things like this, what's it called? D&D campaigns and things like this, RPGs and then tabletop plus like sports and teams. I put sports/teams because like you're doing karate. Some people are doing like soccer or whatever, playing golf or whatever they want to do. But also some people are supporting a team or a sport, which is kind of what I do, which is just watching Formula One. And so I was like, yeah, well, I'm wondering, and then the last one was just like too many. And the too many was like kind of, hey, you need to just tell me, what you mean by too many. So
yeah.
Majority.
Last time I looked, it looked like we had quite a few people respond to that, which is nice.
Yeah, 36 votes total, which I'm not gonna say it's a record for running our polls, but it must be up there. I'm pretty sure.
Considering we haven't run one in a while, it's pretty good.
Yeah. And so that's kind of where. So most people say too many. A lot of people, kind of like me, have a lot of related things. Like one guy was saying like sculpting and 3D printing and blah blah blah, and it's like all kind of related. And then reading and all this and some other stuff, but it was kind of related, It's like for me, I say tabletop, board games, 3D printing, video games, and F1. One guy was saying mountain biking, gyms, board game, and painting. Painting, drawing, sculpting, lifting, which is funny because it's like hobby, like tabletop related. Absolutely not.
Heavy things.
It's like paint tiny things, lift heavy things. All right, that works. Same PC, 3D printing, reading, drawing, movies. So it ends up being like, yeah, you can have multiple hobbies, but man, for me, it had become difficult to just follow everything. And so this is kind of why I was like, I'm wondering what other people do. And so, yeah, it was interesting to see the results.
I mean, I like to have spend some time unwinding on my Xbox if I can, but for some time now, I've not been able to fit that in around painting stuff because I've needed to get stuff painted for a deadline. So
yeah. No, and it's the same thing.
Now that I don't have to do that and I can just chill, then
no, and I will do my hobby streak every day. I will do my 30 minutes, and I'll definitely try to do that. Days like Tuesdays, I know that it's difficult to say the least. So usually what I do is I take my computer and while the kids are doing something, like I work on my game. Because then I'll just spend like 30 minutes, Right now it's like I've done, I think 4 or 5 pages of cards. So, but it's like it's a pain because I have to do each card individually, blah blah blah. Once it's done, it's gonna be done, and it's gonna be easy to modify. But right now it's just labor intensive. Which is why I'm like, why don't I take the opportunity while I'm at, waiting for them to be done with whatever activity they're doing to be like, hey, let me go ahead and paint, basically, and do that and do the work on my game. So that's kind of what I've been doing. Now, video games, I realized that except on Saturday and Sunday, there is no way I can do it during the week. Like, I just don't have time. But I finished Mass Effect 1. Hey.
Nice.
The Legendary Edition, the remasters, blah, blah, blah. So I finally finished it this weekend. I was like, geez. So, it was fun. I actually never played it before, so that was fun. I've played 2 and 3. I never played 1. And 1, by the time I played 2 and 3, 1 was a bit outdated.
Yeah.
but the remaster version was actually pretty good, so I was pretty happy about finishing it. Yeah, so yeah, no, it's just been crazy. And yeah, so, and again, like, I realized that it's been forever and a day that I've done any 3D printing. Well, I did this one, the teacup thing,
Yeah.
coffee cup spilling thing. But before that, I hadn't done anything really in a long time. I have not fired my resin printer in a freaking long time. Like, I don't even remember the last time I did anything on that printer. So, and I have some stuff that I wanna print. The last, and I talked about this last time, the last Spectre operation.
Yeah.
Their last, they're done doing Patreon. So their last Patreon is gonna come in this month. That's gonna be the last one. It looks like they're doing SWAT team.
Nice.
Which is gonna be cool. So I'm waiting on that one. I probably will go ahead. Shit, wrong one, wrong color. So I'll go ahead and print that. And I have their technical, the African technical that they put with Helix, with a bunch of stuff on it, and looks really cool. So that I want to paint. I want to print also. But again, like, I have not had time to do it, and so yeah, it's now I'm like, yeah, it takes, like I said, it takes its toll, like to figure out what you wanna when you start having too many.
3D printing is a whole thing anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's okay for the, honestly, like, I think the resin printer has made it easier, definitely easier. Yes, you need, like, once you print something, you need to clean it and, remove the blah 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 and all these things, and you need to have your curing and washing station. But you can buy a curing and washing station, and then that's it. And then, honestly, it's like super simple compared to the other one. It is. But yeah, it could be. I mean, you could be doing just 3D printing as a hobby and just do that only. And I mean, there's some people that do that. There's a guy that does it for, like, cosplay.
Yeah.
He made an entire freaking Iron Man suit 3D printed. Yeah. It's fucking nuts. I mean, it's awesome. It looks super cool. But yeah, that's just gonna take you. And it was funny because when I cleaned, I actually found I have a the Mandalorian rifle.
All right.
That is completely 3D printed, ready to be assembled.
Nice.
And it is sitting in a box over there, and I was like, oh my god, I need to assemble it.
A couple of Christmases ago, my good friend Matt printed me off one of my favorite guns from the Destiny game.
Cool.
And that's it's in a box.
Yeah, no,
because it's multiple pieces of FDM printed that I just haven't had the willpower to just sit and clean. Because
do you realize that? Yeah,
snapped it off of the print bed and went, there you go.
Yeah, mine. I even have the 2 rods, carbon fiber rods.
Yeah.
That I bought separately. One is for the bottom of the gun. One is for the actual barrel of the gun. It's in there. It's in the box. In the box is also the actual resin. Like the epoxy resin like thing. It's full. It's there. It's ready. I mean, like, literally, all I have to do is sit down and do it. Like, it's like, I was looking at it and I'm like, oh my god, why did I... It's just not gonna take me that long.
JJ?
Yes?
You can have that done by next episode, right? I want you to say it on camera.
No.
JJ, look at me.
No. No, I
Nope.
refuse.
Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Alright, I'll try. At least to have it assembled. I'm not saying paint it or anything, but
No.
I'll try to assemble it. Well, and especially now that I have a giant freaking space, which
You've got the
I've got the space. So
bonus points if you do a video of you putting it together like some sort of special ops guy putting his gun together.
Well, that's kind of the problem, is like my tolerances on it are a little bit shit because it was way back, and so I don't know how well it goes together. I remember that last time I was like, I'm gonna have to send so much stuff, and that's kind of why I did not do it, is because I realized that I had a lot of shit to send, and yeah. But anyways, I'll definitely try to at least assemble it for next time, and yeah, like I said, it's been sitting there for quite a while, and I need to just get on with it. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I think a lot of people are in the same boat where we consider that we have just too many hobbies. But at least we're having fun.
Yeah.
So apart from karate, what else do you do? Video games when you have time? Again?
Yeah. I mean, I'm spending a lot of my free time painting at the moment because
Yeah.
I've hit the point where I've sort of tricked myself into enjoying painting things.
Yeah, well, that's good.
So, like, sometimes when I do my hobby streak in the morning before work, because I've got a late shift, when I get home, I will often just sit and do some more painting.
Nice.
And I'm like, you're here, my TV is there.
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Yeah. So I could be. Yeah, there's some shows I like to watch, but again, those tend to be things that I'm distracting my hands with.
Yeah, usually that's kind of when yeah. No, and that's the thing, is like I can watch some stuff when I'm painting.
Yeah.
I cannot watch anything if I'm like playing a video game, then I cannot even listen to something separate. And I think that might have been just the game that I was playing.
Yeah.
Because it's Mass Effect is kind of story heavy.
Driven,
yeah. And so, but I think that if I was playing something less story driven, then
yeah, I mean, like if
I'm
I'm on No Man's Sky, for example, then I will have like a podcast or a music on my laptop when I'm doing that, because I'm exploring the cold, vast blackness of space, and there's no radio.
But yeah. Well, so speaking of 3D printing, I don't know how I got to that page. I think I was on Special Operation Facebook page, and I was looking at some of the stuff that people had done.
That's a giant bit I missed.
And one guy had a boat, and it's the skiff. But when I looked at other stuff that he put, he had one that was a special ops boat, which I've been looking for one for 3D printing for a while, and then he was saying that those were from that company, which is Modern Miniature .eu. And I looked at their stuff, and I realized that they had a whole bunch of other stuff, some of which, by the way, could be used for any urban terrain. Again, STL, so you can, scale it up if you want to use for Marvel Crisis Protocol. Rule of thumb, if you want Marvel Crisis Protocol from 20 millimeters, you scale it up 127%. That's kind of what's been like Corvus terrain.
Mm-hmm.
He's done a lot of stuff for Marvel Crisis Protocol, and that's kind of where we at today. It's like, yeah, that's what you want. That's the spot that you want, is 127%, and that gives you something that's really made for Marvel Crisis Protocol. So I put a couple of things. So yeah, that Suck Our Boat is awesome, and
Nice.
you can get all the guns and everything from, like, there's another section in his stuff that he has that has the guns that you can add to the boat and everything, and you can add 2 other vehicles if you want. But yeah, so I really like their stuff, so I decided to put it in there.
Nice.
So yeah, everything. I mean, you can print STL. I would recommend resin on most of those stuff, because again,
Yeah.
more details and everything. Even the boat, probably you can probably get away with just printing in the STL, PLA, because it's big enough and it's got flat enough surfaces that it should be fine. But yeah, I love that they had a Russian. It's like, I think the description is like typical Russian car.
Yes.
And it's just like a block. And I was like, it's really cool. But they have like some, FBI van and delivery things, and there's a bunch of things. If you go on their website, and the link is gonna be down below, definitely just go and look, and you'll see, like, they have a bunch of stuff, really good stuff. Now, they are currently running a Kickstarter for a modular Humvee. So you have a choice between, I think, 3 base chassis for the Humvee, and then you can get, you can put a turret and whatever other stuff on it. But and you can choose to have like all of them, all the base. So you got it armored, you got the special ops one and all that stuff. So yeah, so take a look, and if you're playing modern military, that's definitely something I will look at. And yeah, so just found it, thought it was pretty cool. It's been a while since I've done any 3D printing, so that's kind of why I also added those in there. So go take a look and print some, let us know how they turn out. I might grab some stuff down the line once I figure out what I want to do with some of the minis that I have. But yeah, so yeah,
Cool.
Then that brings me on to my
The
news.
news.
So there is a
Piss.
Kill Team version of
Legion.
Star Wars Legion, and I was super surprised to see it. And
Or a skirmish version, anyway.
well, they already had technically a skirmishier version of Star Wars Legion, where you had to like, you could I don't remember the name, but it was basically 3x3, and there was a limit to the stuff that you could take, and it was just limited, and like you limit the number of points, but it was not like this one. This one has some really interesting rule change. So
Okay.
first of all, this one is on the 3x3 also, but it's pre-built. The squad is pre-built. So you do not choose your squad right now. And I think it's because maybe it's in beta or something, but you don't choose your team. The team is, like you have a commander, 2 troopers, 2 specialists, and whatever. And most of them are under the kind of the same format, and
Right.
it depends on who you have. Like you have 2 squads per faction right now, and it looks like it really looks really interesting. You do not use the measuring tools. You
Right.
actually use a ruler, a proper ruler. Because some of the stuff are limited to like 12 inches or 6 inches and blah blah blah. So you actually use a ruler, which is very different. Each unit and everything now, they are completely like, they have new cards for those units. So for example, you used to have a stormtrooper unit card because it was
Right.
for the entire unit of stormtrooper. It's not that anymore. Now it's 1 card per trooper. So
Right.
now you have 3 troopers, and they each have as many points as like a Vader.
Right.
So it's kind of like each unit now, well, each trooper is worth almost a unit. You see what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So it's different. Also now you have is you can only do each action once, including move. So you do not have 2 moves. You cannot do 2 moves. You need to do a move and a dash. And a dash is a speed 1. So it's funny because they still use the speed 1. And the speed 1 is, I think it's 3 inches or 2 inches or something like that. So it's funny that they still use the speed 1 as if you were still using the rulers that
Right.
has the speed 1 on it, but they tell you like the distance in actual inches, that what you should be doing. So it's kind of fun that it's still a little bit modified. No courage value for the commander. You cannot use them. You cannot use that. Every unit has its own courage value, and if you are suppressed enough, then you basically take damage. You need to roll dice, and you're gonna take damage if you roll blah 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 hits on black dice and things like this. So again, like very different from what they had before. And also now the surge is used for cover, and it's not on the cards anymore. It used to be on the cards, like how much cover, blah blah blah. So all that is changed, and the mission types are changed as well. So it looks really interesting, very different, and I think that a few people will be interested in just doing that instead of. I don't think it will replace Shatterpoint, because
No.
I think that this you still need to have knowledge of
Legion. Yeah.
Legion.
Still
'Cause you
how
need to
Legion
know-
works.
Yeah, you need to know some of like everything how it works, and then you're like, oh, instead of this I do this. That's the change compared to the base game. But you still need to kind of know the rules, which I think is kind of similar to Kill Team in that regard.
Sort of. Not really.
Because Kill Team, you still need to know a little bit how you work, how 40k works, no?
Not as far as I'm aware.
So it's completely different rules.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so, but yeah. So anyways, it looks fun. It looks really different. And why is it? There we go. There you go. It's not focusing on my guy. Why not? There we go. So yeah, so it was weird. They came out with that all of a sudden out of nowhere. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see if it takes off and if they refine the rules and just work on it a little bit more.
This is a free update, by the way.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. It's a free beta. It's online, and if you go to the Facebook group, because there's a lot of cards that don't have art on it.
Right.
They just, like the new common cards and new unit cards. Unit cards don't necessarily need, but the common cards are basically pink. Like it's a pink card. You have the outside and everything, but there is no art. And so a lot of people have actually done or found art for those and posted them. And so some of them look really cool. So if you want to do that, you can definitely get those from there. And those are my news. That's it.
Ooh. Give me 2 seconds.
What about you?
To finish doing this guy's hammer. And I'll be right with you. It turns out you can't have Zencaster and the show notes at the same time because they're both in Chrome tabs. So
that's why I opened 2 separate browsers.
Yeah. I'm an idiot. So today we've got a couple of hours before we recorded, had the announcement from Games Workshop that the new or the next battle tome for Warhammer Age of Sigmar will be the 3rd edition Caradron Overlords book. So there is a linky poo for you to have a look at there, because there is a new model
of a dwarf carrying a lot of things on his back.
The Caradron Code Right. So he's got a copy of the Caradron codes on his backpack, and he's got some mechanical arms for holding them open, so he can tell you that what he's doing is in fact actually legal if you read the rules in this particular way.
Actually, do you know that that's a
yes
YouTube channel?
Yes,
it's awesome.
So
I've been watching those, by the way.
his ability is, I think you'll find.
Nice.
And then he can search for precedent in the rules and go, actually, this is. We can do that.
You're wrong.
So that's the new model.
Cool.
That's been updated. So they haven't actually updated the Battletome roadmap, but I put the Battletome roadmap in the Google Doc. So we've had the Beast of Chaos and Gloomspite Gits books. They were last weekend. They were available to buy on the shelves. So, and LVO announced that the Seraphon book would be the summer book. So we've now only got these 5 books in spring.
Mm-hmm.
So one of those, the first one of those, will be the Caradron Overlords book. There are still 2 Chaos books that haven't had an update. So that'll be Khorne and Slaanesh, or Slaanesh and Khorne, depending on what order. Okay. And then there's 2 of the 3 remaining Death factions that hadn't had an update that need an update. So hopefully one of those will be Flesh Eater Courts, because I play Flesh Eater Courts and they need a new book.
Cool.
And hopefully the other one is Ossiarch Bone Reapers, because their abilities don't really work in the new rule set. So they're kind of suffering a bit, which sucks for them.
Okay.
And then the only other book after that would be the remaining Death book and the Cities of Sigmar / Dawnbringer Crusades relaunch, which they keep teasing occasionally on Warhammer Community. So after this roadmap is done in the summer, when we get that Seraphon book, there's 2 books that we know about, or battle times that we know about, before they either drop some new stuff or we get a new edition and
When is the new? Yeah.
start the cycle over again.
This year is gonna be a 40k, right?
This year will be new 40k, and it's a 3-year cycle. So we are July 21 was the current edition.
Okay.
So
yeah, so a little bit of time.
Last year was year 2. Was the end of the first year. We're currently in the second year until July, so we've got at least another year from this summer before we start this shenanigans all over again.
All right.
And hopefully, I'll have got all the new Stormcast stuff that I want to get painted by then, because they'll inevitably have Stormcast in the new launch box, and it will inevitably be stuff that I want. And my backlog of the old Stormcast stuff that I haven't got around to painting
You
yet.
have enough. You have enough.
No, I don't. There are still blank spaces on my spreadsheet.
True.
Okay, so second item was the Heresy Thursday.
What did they show this time?
Armor up with Contemptor Dreadnought Legion upgrades. So this is a bit of a weird one.
Okay.
Because this is resin upgrade kits for the new plastic Contemptor Dreadnought.
Really?
So
they cannot just do full plastic.
Well, hang on. But it's just the torso. So everything above like the waist is the resin bit, and then the arms on the side.
Okay.
This has made a lot of people unhappy. Because Forge World already do a line of Legion specific Contemptor Dreadnoughts.
Okay.
And what they're doing for these upgrade kits is they're basically getting rid of the shoulders and the legs from these resin Contemptors and selling you the torso. So the shoulders and legs, if you scroll round to the Iron Warriors one, because that's the one that I don't have it to hand, but it's the one that I'm more familiar with. That torso is fine.
Mm-hmm.
The black shoulder bits, they've got sculpted extra armor banding and hazard stripes on.
Mm-hmm.
The legs have extra armor banding, bonding studs, and hazard stripes sculpted on.
Okay.
The White Scars one has lots of Legion symbols on. I don't remember what the Sons of Horus or Imperial Fist ones are. And I think like the Dark Angels one has extra wings and swords and all this nonsense on. So people are upset because the resin dreadnoughts are fine.
Yeah.
The only thing with the resin dreadnoughts is the mount points for the weapons are in a different place. Well, it's the same pieces, but the way they packaged the weapons separately previously when they were in resin. The break point between buying a dreadnought and then buying the weapons is in a weird place compared to how they packaged the weapons separately for the Contemptor, the new Contemptor weapon sprues. So
not cool. Overall,
on the plus side, all your weapons will fit. On the downside, you're losing a lot of extra detail that is specific to the Legion that you're buying the upgrade kit for.
Okay.
So, I think overall, this is a bad move. Do not enjoy.
Oh. That sucks.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude.
So the original resin Contemptor Dreadnoughts will be going on to last chance to buy on the Forge World website soon.
Yeah.
So if you want those, then you need to pay the big bucks to Forge World for them, which is
again,
and then that will come without any arms, so you need to go out and buy weapons or buy the weapon sprues, the plastic weapon sprues from Games Workshop. So
not cool.
Not cool. Not like.
And then I see.
I'm going to try and do this quickly because you might be able to hear. I am starting to lose my voice.
It's all right, man. Just two more.
I can do this.
So this guy looks cool.
Following up from the LVO previews that we covered last episode, there is more Seraphon stuff.
Yeah.
You have a Saurus Astrolith Bearer. He's a giant lizard man with a fancy hat, a big club, and a big stick with some magic energy in the middle.
He's got a Mayan stick.
Yeah, the lizard men have a Mayan Inca.
Yeah.
South American
influence, definitely,
yeah.
But he's got the obsidian stick, you know. You've seen those with the obsidian sticking on the side.
Yeah,
it's very reminiscent of that. Yeah, it looks cool. I like it.
It looks very nice. It's got some nice abilities as well. Everybody within 6 inches, units with him have a 6-inch ward, which is nice. He gives friendly wizards +1 to casting, and adds range to friendly wizards casting nearby him. So you put him next to your wizards, and he makes them zappier.
Cool.
True story. And
And
lastly,
then...
we've got the last update we'll get while the thing is still going for the Chaos Citadel from Dark Fantastic Mills, which, as of the moment of I'm reading it, is at £25,856 pledged. And
nice.
We've unlocked all sorts of wonderful things. So we've got the free pit fighting rules.
Okay.
So there's a PDF for that on the Kickstarter page. So get yourself some free pit fighting rules. They have unlocked... where are we? They've unlocked all the breached walls, damaged stuff, curved walls, walls with bits of cracked earth growing up them, sewer entrances, corner towers, breached versions of all the above, a siege tower, a gatehouse, a broken gatehouse, stables, extenders to make your tower bigger.
Chariot Racing middle wall is the next one.
Sci-fi details for all of the stuff, so you can run this as 40k stuff.
Yeah.
They've got all their mutated walls, so you can have it properly chaos corrupted.
Oh, I like the God Skull totem.
Proper fighting pit, so a load of sections, so you can have like a gladiator arena. You can have a big spiky tower to put in the middle. There's a holding pen for that. You can have busted versions, gates for that, straight walls for that, yeah.
Nice.
There's a coming up goal for that where you can have like a wall down
3
the middle,
days.
so you can make a chariot track, pits and traps, a nice warp gate, all sorts of viewing towers and stairs and braziers and stuff that you can have connecting back to the main fortress.
Cool.
They've got a bit carried away with stuff like this.
Yeah, no, it looks really nice.
And
looks really good.
The next section of the Kickstarter that I'm not sure we're going to get to unless we get like a load of pledges in the final days is the Bastion.
Okay.
So there was always like 3 stages to this, which was the walls, the fighting pit, and then the Bastion. So I think we've got all the fighting pit stuff.
Yeah, it looks
And the next bit is on like the Bastion, which is going to be like a super big keep for the middle, which will be really nice.
I'm sorry, my dog is going crazy in the background. I don't know if you hear it.
And I need to stop talking now because my voice is really hurting.
All right, well. Oh, yeah, that doesn't sound good. All right, dude, well, get some, rest your voice. And,
cheers. Sláinte.
Everybody, how's your, dude looking? Good? All right, well, my dude is looking okay. It's all right. No, it's not the greatest paint job, but it'll do for Space Station Zero, I think. Yeah. It pretty simple, but yeah. I might just do a couple of more details with another
so I've got
color or something, but
I've got the blue down on all 3.
Cool.
So they're all
nice.
And then this guy is blue, and he's got all his gold armor trim on because he's a fancy lad.
Alright, cool.
So I will, I think, finish knocking the second Storm Drake out the rest of this week, and then I'll move on to finishing those 3.
Alright. Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for coming.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed.
Check out the next episode of Throwing Dice Podcast.
Yeah.
When that comes out.
Definitely.
To hear me sounding more like my normal self.
Alright. Well, everyone, thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. Don't forget, like, subscribe. Let us know in the comment if you're gonna pick up any of the stuff that we talked about, or if you're gonna try the Star Wars Legion. I don't know if some of you guys are playing the Star Wars Legion.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're gonna let Liam voice recover, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. All right.